All right, Dixie, we are talking 7-6A. We've moved into Richardson and the Irving district. And you know what? This is the kind of year where I don't know a lot about what Jesuit has coming back. But what I do know is that they have a history. And it's kind of that Ric Flair thing that you talk about. I'm not willing to push them any lower than 2 or 3 because even though I don't know a lot of the guys they have coming back, but I do know what the coaching staff's like, and those Rangers are usually at the top. Who do you have at the top of this district? And tell me a little bit more about what you know about 7-6-8.
It's crazy award because if you think about last year, we kind of went into things with the same kind of mindset, like, well, Lake Highlands, they're pretty good, but we don't know what we're getting out of them. They graduated just about everybody, still kind of a new coaching systems over there, and then all of a sudden they just run through this district in ways with players we've never heard of, and they got a lot of that coming back. So I think Lake Highlands has definitely earned the benefit of the doubt at number one, and just like last week, Ward, when we talked about games we saw together, I remember us holding hands for the Flower Mound and Lake Highlands game, just
Yeah,
being so impressed at Christian Rhodes. And Christian Rhodes was the heartbeat of Lake Highlands. He had over 1,000 yards last year, and he had some injuries, but was still playing
yeah, we were
incredibly.
impressed with them, and we only saw them for a half, right?
Yeah, and I think that was a big reason why we saw the Jaguars come back in the second half was because Christian Rhodes was not in that game. He is a difference maker. But they have some questions at quarterback. Who I understand is coming back at number one at quarterback. QB1, as we like to call him, Chuck Smith. But the linebacker core for Lake Highlands is what I think the coaches are really kind of saying. Okay, in this district, we're gonna have the running back, we're gonna have the good running game, but we gotta have a solid defense. And Jeremiah Jones and Aiden Little are coming back at linebacker. They've got Lloyd Wyatt in the backfield at defensive back. I think Lake Highlands on both sides of the ball is the most complete team in this district by a mile. And I think that Lake Highlands is probably a clear number one. But like you said, Ward, there are a lot of questions going down because the team we keep talking about every year, who just kind of disappoints me every year, but we still keep talking about them, is Richardson Berkner. And all of that talent we've got kind of seen over the last couple of years has graduated. But they do have some players who are coming in who I think there's some interesting stories. When I was doing my research, a player that really caught my eye was a defensive tackle named Seven Shepard. This is a third degree black belt, Ward. I, th- I mean, when you are in the trenches with a third degree black belt, that's somebody who is going to make a difference on the defensive line. He's going to get to that quarterback, and he may hurt somebody. He probably got to be gentle with these players when you're a third degree black belt. Luke Jewell has really done well in the 7-on-7 circuit, who is QB1. They got Chris Jones, Cam Davis at wide receiver, Christian Breen at tight end, and probably their best returning player is Daquan Dunn, a really good cornerback coming back. But I think Berkner is still have not has not proven to me that consistency. Coach Bryant, and I give him, I tell him this like, you need a signature win, coach. You got to get that signature win to get me off your back on our podcast. And I know this year he's going to be looking for one, and probably hopefully in week 12 is what he's probably looking for when it comes to a signature win. But you mentioned it at the outstart, Ward. How can you deny Jesuit? And kind of trying to dig through the depth charts, it looks like Beck Berry is the quarterback of our future over there. You got Shane Parker coming back. He had 500 all-purpose yards at receiver and running back. But the offensive line is a big question. A lot of the defense is a big question. They graduated probably 18 to 19 of their quality 22 on both sides of the ball. So there are some questions there. But every time we question Jesuit, they just come back bigger,
Yeah.
stronger, because of Coach Hickman over there and the system that they come have placed. So I trust the tradition and the system of Jesuit, which is why I've got them number two, just a little bit above Berkner. But finally, the team we have been talking about as our kind of our go-to team when we're looking for a dark horse has graduated everybody in Richardson Pierce. And when you talk about all the players that they had graduated that had been their quarterback and their running back, how do you replace those? I don't know. And I'm looking at who they've got coming back, and they've graduated just about everybody. Evan Roseberry in the 7-on-7 circuit is thought to be the quarterback of the future. Austin Griggs is coming back at wide receiver. But because they graduated so much, my fourth playoff team is the Richardson Eagles. Lucas Sawyer is back, 1,300 yards passing. Jamian Winfield is one of the
Ooh,
best. You talked about the top
yeah,
100 last week. And talk about a defensive player. I almost wish we could see Winfield and Shepard line up on defensive line as kind of a little bit of a scrimmage kind of a thing, because you got the third degree black belt. You've got Winfield who can just get past anybody on the offensive line. I'd like to see them just kind of, let's have a little like a sumo wrestling match with those two defensive linemen. It's kind of like we talked about a month ago, Ward, in 3-6A. Everybody's got pieces. Like, get that one player, you got that one player, you got that one player. But a lot of incomplete teams here. Damian Crow is back at wide
Rose
receiver.
back.
He
We've
did
been
a
talking about
lot
him
for
forever.
Richardson. Yeah, he was at Berkner. Now we got him over at Richardson. He is a playmaker. He can do everything. He can be wide receiver. He could be a running back. You might even see him play in the secondary and spot situations next year. I think that Richardson is a team to watch. But another team to watch, and we kind of teased it last week in the 6-6A. I'm excited about Irving MacArthur. I can't make the leap, Ward. I know you want to do it. I can't make the leap, Ward, and put him in the playoff situation quite yet. But Brock Cassis Willis had over 1,000 yards. Banner Nicholas had over 1,300 all-purpose yards last year, 11 touchdowns. Wyatt Davis, and I know you were talking about off the air of some of their defensive players who have really shined in 7-on-7 that you're hearing a bit about.
Yeah, yeah. Rolando King's been doing real well at defensive back, and again, they made it to the state 7-on-7 for the first time since 2002, which you would hope could spring into the regular season. But we play 11-on-11 in regular season, not 7-on-7, so that's a little bit different there. But yeah, definitely out of all the Irving schools, and the way we were talking about them, the way they were being cohesive in 7-on-7, you would think they could be able to push for that seventh spot or for that fourth spot over maybe one or two of the Richardson schools.
Yeah, it's definitely not a wide gap between 3, 4, 5, and 6 right now. You could see Irving MacArthur get as high as 3 if things go well. And if you hear the name Nicholas, you're like, okay, that's the quarterback's son. That's at wide receiver. He
Coach's
can do
son.
just about everything. We talk about the benefit of when you come home from dinner and you're sitting at the dinner table and you're talking football. It's like a 12-on-11 advantage when you have that kind of pedigree. And last season, Banner was willing to do anything for
Mhm.
whether it's get behind a quarterback, just whatever he could do to help the team. He was willing to do it last year. Got yards, got significant yards at running back, got significant yards at wide receiver. So having him back and having the quarterback back in Brock Cassis Willis, I'm excited about him, Ward. But again, given that last year all three of those Irving teams split against each other in some kind of crazy football games, I can't give them the benefit of the doubt, but it is definitely a team to keep an eye on. I think they are the top team in Irving right now. I think Irving Nimitz and Irving are going to struggle this year. Irving Nimitz does have Javon Woolfolk coming back. He had a couple hundred yards rushing last year in kind of an injury riddled affair. Napoleon Proctor is a player I'm told to keep an eye on for Irving at an athlete. They don't know what they're going to do with him because he's just such a good athlete. We got to find a place for him and how he's going to benefit the team. So early in the year, we may see him at one position, and by the end of the year, we may see him in another position. But I think Irving Nimitz and Irving are still going to struggle this year. But it's a very wide open district. I do think we got number one, but there's a gap between one and the rest of the district. So 5 teams can really make a play to get into the playoffs in this district.
Well, let's hear your 1 through 8 real quick.
I got Lake Highlands number 1, Jesuit number 2, Berkner number 3, the Eagles from Richardson. Shout out to Marley Merker at number 4, Richardson Pierce just on the outside looking in at number 5, Irving MacArthur at number 6, Irving Nimitz number 7, and the Tigers of Irving High at number 8.